Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are reviewing the Sohamo S3 step-through folding e-bike. Now, the thing that makes this special over other ones is it happens to have the biggest rear motor and the biggest battery that I have seen on a folding e-bike, so let's get into it. The Sohamo S3 is a Class 3 e-bike, which should get us speeds up to 28 miles an hour via the 5 levels of pedal assist, the cadence sensor that is in it, and or this thumb throttle. I don't know. We're going to test it out today and we're actually going to find out. This bike only comes in one size and one color. As you can see, it is white, which, you know, I'm a fan of white bikes. And the average rider height for this bike is 5'1" to 6'5". This bike comes in two different versions, a 15 amp version with a 720 watt hour battery, or the one that I have here, which is 20 amp hours and 960 watt hours of battery power. During the making of this video, the 15 amp hour version is $799, but this 20 amp hour beast is only $999. The 15 amp hour version of this bike weighs only 57 pounds. This 20 amp version weighs 69. The maximum payload is 300 pounds. Sohamo claims that the 15 amp version of the S3 will do 25 miles using throttle only and between 30 to 40 miles using pedal assist. This 20 amp version will get you 30 miles via the throttle only and between 40 to 60 miles using pedal assist. Today, Chicago's weather is going to be a high of 49 degrees, so we're going to see how that will actually put into play on how far we can get on this bike. Now, I do have to let you know that when it came to putting this bike together, there were a lot of pieces, and the toughest part was getting this rear fender on. So much to the fact that you're probably going to curse a little. Make sure you have a lot of patience, grab a coffee, take your time, and you will be able to figure it out. It comes with a Sohamo branded 48 volt, 750 watt brushless rear hub motor, and it has a peak of 1100 watts. The S3 has a Shimano 7-speed transmission with a Shimano turning derailleur, a derailleur guard, and the standard Shimano thumb shifter. For stopping power, you have these non-branded mechanical brakes with 160 millimeter rotors on the front and rear. It has a suspension front fork that has 80 millimeters of travel. Just note that you cannot make any adjustments to it or lock it out. The S3 comes with 20 by 3-inch tires. They're Chaoyang tires, they're puncture resistant, and they have a medium to aggressive tread pattern on them. It also has plastic fenders. When you look at this bike, you think that this is a suspension seat post, but it is not. It is just this, I don't know why companies do that, but it is not. It does not provide any suspension at all. For the battery on this model, it goes right back here. The cool thing is it has a liftable handle. You can hit the seat right there, open it up, use a key, unlock it, pull the battery out if you want to charge it indoors, or it can just sit right in there. There is a charging port right here, which you just open up. There we go. You open it up and you charge it right there. But the cool thing is this battery is 48 volts, 20 amp hours with 960 watts of power. It does come with a 2 amp charger, so this thing is going to take about 6 to 8 hours to charge. Also, when it comes to starting this bike, well, it takes a key, and you have to put the key into the charging area. If you turn it the other way, well, it releases the battery so you can pull it out like this. Lock it in there. You're going to turn it that way until you hear it lock. And then if you want to start the bike, well, you're just going to turn it to there, and now it's in the start position. Make sure that when removing the battery, you take out this plug, which is what gives it power to the bike. Pull it out, charge it, put it back in, you're good to go. The S3 comes with a beefy rear rack that can hold up to 110 pounds. Some of the additional features include you have plastic fenders, you have foldable pedals, you have a quick release post right here, and you have an adjustable stem which goes up and down depending on your height. Cockpit Operations. Now that we have the key turned on for the battery, all you have to do is push this button for a couple seconds and your screen comes on. As you can see, it is a very basic screen. It gives you your battery levels up here. It's going to tell you the miles per hour that you do, how many miles you put on your trip, and these are your different levels of pedal assist. So by hitting the bottom button, it's going to bounce 1 through 5, but to go back down, well, you got to just work through them all. So it'll go 1 through 5, and then when you hit it again, it's going to start to 0, and then you're just going to have to bounce back up through the levels. Do not see a way to where you can bounce down and up. You just have to flow through. Hit the power button once, and your headlight comes on and tail light. When looking at the headlight, well, by just hitting the button, you can see it has these 4 bulbs right here, and when you hit it, it seems pretty bright. The tail light is pretty bright on its own, and then when you hit the brake levers, it gets even brighter. Here is your throttle. As you can see, we have it in 0 pedal assist mode. I don't want it taken off on me. Let's go ahead and turn that headlight off. And it has an electric horn. Ooh, not bad. The grips over here on this side, you know what? They're kind of a soft rubber, and I think they're going to be good. You have your front brake lever right here. Over here on your right-hand side, you have another grip. Neither of these are locking, but they're not moving, so they're not going anywhere. You have your rear brake handle right here, and this is your Shimano thumb shifter. To push it, it goes up in gear, and to bring it down in gear, you just hit that lever right there. Since the S3 is a folded bike, I wanted to give you some idea. It is 65.3 inches in length when it is unfolded. Now to fold it down, you're just gonna flip this lever down, and as you can see, this whole piece comes here. You're gonna flip that up, pop it out, and then just fold the bike onto itself. When the bike is folded, it's only 38.5 inches long and only comes up to a height of 30.3 inches. Putting it back together, also just as simple. Just going to lift it up a little bit, bring it around, clamp this piece. Once it's clamped, you're going to put the lever in there, lift this back up, clamp it into place, put your safety pin in here, and you're good to go. Now it is that part of the review where I get to take it out, put her on the road, and see how the S3 does. Right now, I don't have any pedal assist going on with this bike. As you can see, it's in 0. And right now we're cruising about 11, 12 miles an hour. I'm in gear 5. I mean, it didn't feel too bad. It's not something that I would want to do for multiple miles, but if we end up cutting this ride short because I run out of battery, at least I know I'll be able to make it home by pedaling this bike. But this overall, like with any e-bike, very seldom do you want to ride it without any power. Let's go ahead and check the speedometer. So let's make sure that the display is actually giving us the correct information. Showing 14 on the display. Oh, now we got 14 on the GPS. Just took it a minute to catch up. So it looks like we're bouncing just right in between the two. I would say that it's pretty accurate, so we can continue on with this review. Let's check how it is using throttle only. I have it in pedal assist number 1. I don't know if this is going to limit it per pedal assist level, but we're going to find out. I just hit the throttle. Oh no, we're shooting right up. Okay, so I can tell already that the throttle, as long as you have it in pedal assist number 1, well, it's going to give you all the power. These 3-inch tires make this bike pretty nimble. Looks like 25 miles an hour is going to be the max on this bike, which is totally fine. At least we know what that's going to be from here. Now let's find out how fast we can go in each pedal assist level. I have it in pedal assist number 1 right now. We're just going to see what is going to be comfortable for us. I'm in gear 5, which obviously that'll change as we continue up through the pedal assist levels. Now the funny thing is, when you have no power on, you can cruise at 12 miles an hour with pedal assist 0, but you also cruise at same speed, maybe 1 mile. Yeah, I'm at 12, 13 miles an hour on pedal assist number 1. Let's try pedal assist number 2. I literally feel no difference between pedal assist level 1 and 2. Let's try pedal assist level 3. Not really feeling much difference on pedal assist number 3. Puts us at 15 miles an hour. Let's try pedal assist number 4. Oh, now, okay, now I feel it. Now we're ready to go. Go ahead and kick this all the way up into gear 7. We're cruising 24 miles at pedal assist level 4. All right, let's try pedal assist level 5. Which that should have us roaming at like 25 miles an hour. Now there is ghost pedaling, but since this is a cadence sensor, well, if you just move your legs, it will get you to the speed that it's made for that pedal assist level. Let's see how fast just using throttle gets us up to the 25 miles an hour. Here we go. It takes off pretty gentle, but you can tell this thing does have some power. I don't know the Newton meters of torque of this bike. Oh, about 23 seconds. Now let's see how long it's going to take us to get from 0 to 25 miles an hour using pedal assist only. I starting off in gear 4. We have it on pedal assist number 5. No throttle. Let's go. Oh, these tinier pedals make it harder for you to just, crank it right out of the gate. We're jumping up in gear real quick. We're already in gear number 7. Boom, like 14 seconds. At this point, we're going to use throttle, pedal assist, and see how quick we can get up to 25 miles an hour using everything we got. Let's go. Yeah, using the throttle definitely helps to start off right out of the gate. Woo, that was like 12 seconds. So it's not really that much of a difference by using the throttle to help you along. Matter of fact, I think that might have been a little bit slower. When I stopped, I had to go ahead and put my gloves on. It is still 49 degrees, and with that wind, well, your hands get a little cold. But check out this display. It's showing that I have 5 bars. But when I start cranking onto it and it starts using like the full power, look, it just dropped down to 2 bars. That's going to be hard to kind of figure out how much battery power we're going to have with this bike. So it looks like the battery management system with this display, well, it's going to make it interesting, I can tell you that. Although considering this bike does have a huge battery on it, I should be able to get really good distance out of it. And with these smaller, thinner tires, I'm expecting to get really good range. Let's talk size and fit. Now, they said that this bike can handle rider up to 5'1". That seat is really, really low. Let me make sure this is in the lowest position. Well, it is. So that would be the seating position for a rider who is 5'1". They also said it's good for those who are 6'5". Let's see if there's an indicator on the bottom. Nope. So this would possibly be the highest you would want to put it. And this right here is as high as it goes. Wow, that's really tall. Okay, that is something right there. So let me go ahead and put this back down to like normal 5'9" person height. Get her locked in. Now I did add a couple of, my safety things to this bike. I have this Seco light. It has like a blinking. That's a very nice deal. I have my half-knee bar in mirror, and I'm using my Rock Bros bag, which holds everything I need. Now, since this rack is nice and wide, this bag fits on here really well. All right, let's go ahead and continue on with the review. You get to see all kinds of interesting things here in Chicago, and this is just one of them. Look at this bike. That is pretty wild. Now, my initial thoughts on this bike is, number one, it's pretty quiet. These tires are really good for like keeping down the noise. It also seems to be pretty comfortable. I don't know how this seat's going to be for like 30, 40 miles, but we will find out before this review ends. We'll hit a brake test coming up when we get closer to the lake. So far, she's feeling nimble. She's not making any noise from the battery or anywhere, but we're going to do this off-road part over here. We're going to see if she's going to start rattling around on us. All right, as always, unless this car is not going to stop. Okay, there it is. Let's go ahead and hit this off-road part as we're going through the park here. Ooh, my seat just switched on me. In the installation part of this bike, you have to put the seat to the post. And because of that, you try to make sure that it's as tight as it possibly can be, although apparently mine can be a little bit tighter. I barely hear the battery making any noise. And right now we just seem to be handling all of this rather well, but she is much better on a straight, easy, solid type road. Here we are for the hill test. We're going to give her a shot. We're just going to use throttle only and see how she does going up this hill. Oh boy, we're kind of like having a slow start, and then it jumps right into this hill part. I figured for a 750 watt motor, we would have no issue just climbing up this thing, but it is barely making it. Oh gosh, it is possible using throttle only, but I would definitely not recommend it. I mean, I have to tell you, this bike's not really much of a hill climber. Let's give it one more try using pedal assist heading up. We'll just give it a little throttle, see how easy it's going to be. Oh yeah, well now, just adding some pedal power to it, well, you're not going to have any issue heading up a hill. I'm just still surprised that a 750 watt motor wouldn't climb this hill as well as I thought it should. You know, I stopped for a quick second so I could get like a, you know, the thumbnail photo. And I noticed that the trip odometer has reset back to 0. So this will be one of those bikes that the only way you're going to be able to track how far your trip is Strava. Luckily, I already had that going, so we're doing well. One thing that I noticed is that because this battery is, you know, it's a heavy battery because it's a big battery, but because of the position on where they put it right behind the seat, this bike is super stable. I mean, this bike is very easy to ride. And part of that has to do with these 3-inch tires as opposed to the 4-inch tires, this bigger battery, you know, the whole, this is a well thought out bike, especially for a foldable bike. The only part that I really don't like about it is that whenever you're moving and pedaling and got things going, it just immediately drops down to 2 bars on the display. I know you guys can't see it because it's just not, the refresh rate's just not working out with this camera. Right now, it shows that I'm at 2 bars, but if I stop, it'll show I'm at 5. So we're gonna go up here, we're gonna do a brake test, and then we're gonna try to get our first mileage check and see where we're at. Got a bunch of geese. Yeah. So you can tell just going up a hill like this that the speed drops pretty good. I mean, we were at 25 and now we dropped down to 18. So this is just like a reinforcement that, you know, this bike is definitely not the best climber, but you're still going to be able to get where you want to go, especially if you're just riding around in the city. We are here for the brake test. We are going to get this thing up to 25 miles an hour, slam on the brakes, and see how she does. Woo! Let's see how far we are. Have to check that out. Right at 35 feet. Let's go ahead and try that again. See if we can do it a little bit better. Round 2 on the brake test. Let's go. I mean, we're already up to speed on this bike, so that's a good thing. Oh, we really hit the brakes hard that time. See, I know that's 35, so we're at 34 feet. I mean, these mechanical brakes work. We're just not able to stop as quick as we would if we had hydraulic, but we're still stopping safe. Still feels good, so we're good to go. I mean, this is a budget bike, but it's doing really well. I just saw this beach right here, so let's go ahead and see how this bike is going to do on the sand. Now, I don't expect it to do well. It's only got 3-inch tires, and so let's see. Here we go. Oh, we're not doing too bad. Oh, but we're kind of, oh. Okay. I mean, we made it this far. That's not too bad. But yeah, this bike, you know what? It did better. It went farther than what I thought it would. Yeah, we got to walk it back. Yeah, it was an idea. Now, this bike will 100% get you to the beach, but it won't get you on the sand. Well, it will, just not for very long. I have not been in this area before, so this is pretty cool. That's the amazing thing about Chicago. I mean, I have done a ton of reviews out here, and I have been everywhere, but there are still places that I run into that I haven't been to, and this right here is one of them. All right, guys, I figured I would go ahead and do our first mileage check. Now, I'm looking at the display. We're down to 3 bars, and, you know, you can't look at the mileage because every time you turn the bike off, the trip mileage resets, but we're down to 3 bars. Strava shows that we're at 13.49 miles. I am on the south side of Chicago. As you can see, it is right there behind me, and it is an incredible day. What a great day to go for a bike ride. You know what? Let's continue on. The only bad part is I have to stop the bike to see what the battery display level is. And I know this bike's gonna go far, so I'm just gonna have to kind of do a lot of stops to see where we're gonna be at in the battery so that I know I can make it home. Let's get rolling. Here we go. Coming up on some more geese. Get to moving. There we go. Guess this little horn does come in handy. You know, and I'm thinking that when it comes to foldable bikes, and this one being under $1,000, the features of this bike is actually impressive when you consider the 750 watt motor and you consider the 960 watt hour battery. When I have reviewed other foldable bikes that cost more, that don't have as big of a motor, or if it does, it doesn't have as big of a battery as this one. So I think value wise, this is a pretty good choice if you want a foldable bike with a big motor and a big battery. Getting ready to get off of Lakeshore Drive in the part of heading home, we are down to 2 bars of battery power, and Strava says that we're at 20.24 miles. I was figuring we could get about 30 miles out of this bike, and I might be right, but we're going to have to do it closer to home because I just don't know how this bike's going to perform. So we're going to hop off of Lakeshore Drive. We're going to head home and see how she does. We are stopped, and it does seem that the lower that the battery level gets on this display, the more accurate it is. So right now, even stopped or going, it shows that we have 2 bars. At this point, I am just riding around in different parts of the city because every time I stop, it's still showing that I have 2 bars left, and I know that I have to extend out this trip, which I'm glad, because I really want to see how close we're going to get to 30 miles with this bike. It has been a long time since I've been down this road, and they didn't have these bike lanes here before, so this is awful nice. Chicago is constantly improving their bike lanes, which is much appreciated. We have just dropped down to 1 bar. We're at 27.48 miles, and if this 1 bar lasts as long as the 2 bars, man, we are going to get a lot of mileage out of this bike. So I just jumped back up to 2. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be on this bike forever. All right, what I just noticed, now that we're down to 1 bar, is that when I take off, well, it seems like it's a little bit of a delay before the power actually kicks in. And instead of us being able to just cruise at 25 miles an hour with it on pedal assist number 5, well, right now we're at 20 miles per hour. So we're not surging, we're not pulsing, but we're also not going as fast as we were before. Right now we're doing 15 miles an hour. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen, but we have 1 bar of battery. We have 15 miles an hour. I'm in gear 6, and you can tell the bike is getting heavy. This is the first time out of this whole trip that I feel like I'm actually using some of my leg power, which, I mean, makes sense. At some point when these batteries start to die, you know, the bike has to do something, and you never know what that's going to be. So that's what I'm out here doing, showing you guys, so you'll know if you get this bike on what to expect when the battery gets low. Bike is getting heavier, it's getting slower. Let's see if we have any throttle. We do, but it's 10 miles an hour is the throttle at this point, and it's having a hard time holding it. Yeah, this bike's not going to make it much farther. All right, we don't have throttle. I feel like I'm doing all the work to get this bike going. So we're going to pull over. I'm going to call it and see what mileage we're at. Then we're going to make it home. I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, we have made it here for my final thoughts. Now, I did have to ride the bike about 2 miles without any power, but it really wasn't that bad at all. I was doing about 12 miles an hour. I really believe those thinner tires make this bike a lot easier to ride. Plus, with having this battery like centered where it was, it didn't really feel that heavy when it didn't have power. Now, when it did have power, we did make it 30.39 miles. That's what Strava shows us, and that is a very long distance for a folding e-bike. And what I mean by that is that I've only reviewed 1 other folding e-bike that went over 30 miles. Matter of fact, it went like 31.5 miles, but that bike was $500 more than this one. So if you have like a limited budget of $1,000 and you want a folding e-bike that can go a long distance, well, the S3 might be the choice for you. Now, some of the things that I would like to have seen improved, I mean, this display, okay, it is super basic, and I get it. This is a budget e-bike. I get that it's super basic, but I can tell you that when you have 5 bars on your battery, the first bar is going to drop pretty quick. 4 is going to drop decently. 3 and 2 is going to hang on for a long time. But once you hit your 1 bar, you better be heading home, because I think we only did about 3 miles between having 2 bars on the battery to 1 to no power at all. I am pleasantly surprised on how this seat handled, because I did put that 30 miles in, but I'm not sore. I don't really feel it. So that is a super good thing. You know, there's a lot of things that I like about this bike. The center of gravity with it, how nimble it was. The thinner tires make it easier to maneuver. And I mean, this back rack, with it being beefier and thicker, man, I feel like you could, if you were a delivery person, you could put like a big heavy basket on there and it would be totally fine. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that I didn't like about this bike. Obviously, the mechanical brakes, I'd rather have hydraulic, but these brakes worked just fine. The triggers felt fine. Everything worked out really rather well for a bike in this price point. Now, if you're interested in this bike, well, go ahead and click on my link below. That'll get you to the latest pricing. Plus, if you end up purchasing the bike, well, it does help this channel without costing you any more. Well, that's it, guys. That is my review on the Sohamo S3. I really appreciate you watching, and until I see you again, enjoy the ride.